Hi there. So we are going to talk about solving one-step equations with division problems. So an example of this would be t over 5 equals 6, and we are solving for t. We want to know what is t. Okay, so we should have an answer that says t equals something. Okay, so how we do this is we're going to look at this problem here, and it says t over 5 equals 6. This means t divided by 5 equals 6. So what we're asking is what number divided by 5 equals 6? So how we figure this out is, since this is a multiplication problem, we are going to do the opposite of multiplication, which is, I'm sorry, since this is a division problem, we are going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication, okay, which is how we typically do it in our solving one-step or multi-step equations. Because our goal is to get rid of this t, or sorry, since our goal is to get this t by itself on one side of the equal sign, we need to get rid of this 5. So a way that we're going to do that is we are going to multiply both sides by 5. Okay, now how does this multiplying it by 5 get rid of this t here? Okay, whenever we have a whole number, we change it to a fraction by putting it over 1. Okay, so now when we multiply straight across 5 multiplied by t, sorry, my light went out. Multiply 5 by t, it's going to equal 5t. And then when we multiply 5 over 5, we get 5. So we end up with 5t over 5, which we know 5 divided by 5 equals 1. So we end up with 1t or just t. Okay, so we have this side of the equal side fixed. It's our t. Okay, so now we have to fix the other side, and that is just 6 times 5, and that equals 30. So we end up with an answer of t equals 30. Now remember, whatever you do on this side of the equal sign, you must do on this side of the equal sign. So now if you want to see if this problem is true, you're going to do a check. Our original problem was t over 5 equals 6. So now we would take what t is. We now know that t equals 30, and we're going to put 30 over 5 because we're just plugging this 30 in where that t was, and it's going to equal 6. Is this true? Does 30 divided by 5 equal 6? It does. So this is a true statement here. Okay, so let's try one more. Okay, it's the same concept. We're just going to do it a little bit differently. I mean, we're just going to do it with the different numbers. We're going to do it the same. We're just going to do it with different numbers. So let's do a w over 8 equals 4. Okay, now this is a division problem, so we're going to do the inverse or opposite operation, which is multiplication. And what are we multiplying it by? Am I multiplying it by the 4? Am I multiplying it by the 8? We're always going to multiply it by the number that's attached to the variable, that's attached to the letter in your problem. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. Okay, so I'm going to make this a fraction. We're going to multiply straight across and we get 8w. Multiply this straight across and we get 8, which we know just equals w. Okay, because these pretty much cancel each other out. 8 divided by 8 equals 1, leaves you with 1w. Okay, now we're going to do this problem here, and this is 32. We end up with w equals 32. Now, if I want to check that, I'm going to take my original problem, which is w over 8 equals 4, okay? And I'm going to plug this 32 in there, and I'm going to have 32 over 8 equals 4. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Is that true? Yes, it is. 4 equals 4. This is a true equation, okay? Division is probably one of the hardest ones to do when it comes to isolating that variable or getting this variable by itself. We call it isolating the variable. It's probably one of the hardest ones to do because it's very confusing with the setup. It almost looks like a fraction, but it's actually a division problem. So if you have any questions, let me know.